Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the AC Show, the coolest show on YouTube. I am Aaron, aka the Handy Outdoor Nerd, and this gentleman to my left is
Chris, aka MrCarrellScience. Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Well, technically good morning for me. So,
listen, man, I am never I understand that it's 12 a.m. I am never going to accept the fact that midnight,
I am from the future.
1 o'clock, or even 2 o'clock is not morning. I'm sorry, it's a.m., but it's not morning. It's not. In my opinion, morning doesn't start until it's a time. See, because 2 o'clock is still close to an acceptable time for someone to go to bed. You know what I mean? So I don't think that the morning technically starts until like 3 or 4. Like what's a realistic time for somebody to have to wake up to get ready and get to work on time? You know what I mean? Like nobody is, unless they're working like some sort of weird overnight shift or whatever, nobody's waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning going, oh, I got to get ready for my normal day of work. But like people have to be to work at 4 o'clock in the morning at work, early morning cashier jobs or something like that. I used to have to wake up at 4 in the morning to be at work at Home Depot at 5 when I was one that had to count all the money in the registers and everything in the morning. So, but you're just never going to convince me that midnight is morning. Like, it's just not. Sorry.
I can understand that. So do you consider 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning?
I would say that it depends on your schedule for the day. But I would say the time that breaks morning from night is probably between 3 and 4 o'clock, somewhere in there. If it's 4 o'clock in the morning and you get woken up, you got woken up early in the morning. If it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you get woken up, you got woken in the middle of the night and you can still go to bed and get some more sleep. You get woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're probably just up.
This is true.
But I guess that depends on the person, because I know a lot of people that they don't wake up till 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, and it's like, how do you live your life that way?
Yeah.
You've wasted half the day,
That's true.
Here in Arizona, sun's up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, if you're waking up after 7 o'clock, it's like, what are you doing? 7 o'clock is sleeping in,
Yeah. So, and for all of you, sorry for the lag and weird look of my laptop. I'm using the laptop camera now because I was messing with OBS and my camera just keeps saying OBS camera when I try to use it in StreamYard.
Yeah, he was messing with a bunch of BS.
Yeah. So right now, that's just kind of what I'm stuck with. I was either that or just stream from my phone. And that was getting messages and stuff. So I said, I'm just going to do it like this and hopefully fix the stupid issue that I was having and not deal with that. So we didn't do a show last week. I meant to tweet out that we weren't doing it. Chris.
That was my bad.
Yeah, Chris is
it's summertime.
He likes to abandon me. He abandons me. If you haven't noticed, he's abandoned me so many times for the show.
I have several times ducked out on Aaron, and that's totally my fault. And I feel like a terrible friend.
It's probably about 20 times.
20 is a little excessive.
I didn't say more. I said probably about 20.
I think 20 is a little excessive. I wouldn't say that it's 20 times.
I guess we can go back and see.
I mean, it's because
you missed the one that Jill Telling popped in.
Stop! I'm never gonna live that one down. Oh, I'm telling you right now, I'm never gonna live that down, man.
Jill Telling told me hi, and you didn't get it.
Listen, guys.
Also, he also told everybody hi that was watching, pretty much. So it was a kind of a hi.
Here's the thing you guys need to understand. All right. Number one, the live stream is not nearly as important to me as you guys and Aaron are important to me. In real life, if you needed me for something, I'm there for you. But if I got something going on with my family or whatever else is going on, I will put the live stream second. Sorry. I care about you guys. I care about, Aaron. I care about you guys personally. But as far as the actual live stream goes, it always will come second to my family or somebody that needs help. Just the way it is. Sorry.
But he still abandons me.
And I feel terrible about it every time.
He does it. He's like, ha ha, you're on your own. Last
Although,
minute.
there have been a couple of times where it's been like literally like the Joel telling stream. I had every intention of being on that stream, but I fell asleep on my son's bed trying to get him to go to bed. That was when we were first transitioning him to go. That was, let's see. So that was right before my daughter was born, or right around the time my daughter was born. And at that time, my son wasn't quite yet 2, and we were transitioning him from like a big crib to an actual bed. So we were transitioning him from, for lack of a better term, a cage that he couldn't escape from. Listen, this is a solid parenting strategy. You lay the kid in the crib. Sometimes they cry for a second because they're like, I don't want to go to bed. But then after a couple minutes, they lay down and they just go to sleep. And this is a very common strategy. It's not the cry it out method or whatever. It's just teaching the kids that when it's bedtime, it's bedtime. You put them in the crib, they lay down, they go to sleep. But we were about to have a new baby, and so we moved my son to a different room, and now he's on a bunk bed, and he was on the bottom bunk. And I actually cut the legs off of the bottom bunk to make the whole thing sit lower because I have a ceiling fan and I was worried that my son was going to hit his head on the ceiling fan. So we lowered the whole bunk bed down. And so it was to the point where, I lay him down in bed. If he doesn't want to go to sleep, he just gets up. So that during that time, that was what was going on. My kid was transitioning into a regular bed. And he didn't want to go to bed, so I would have to lay down with him to make sure he stayed in bed until he fell asleep. I fell asleep, and I didn't wake up until like 3 o'clock in the morning. And when I woke up, I had all these text messages, my phone blowing up. You missed out on the stream of a lifetime.
Because I was talking with Sean, and
I still hold to the fact that my family's more important. I'm sorry. I love Joel, and I really, really like Sean. I feel bad that I missed the stream, but I still hold true to the fact that I was doing something important for my family, and that's more important than the stream. As sad as I am that I missed getting to talk to my hero, and the reason why I got into 3D printing, Mr. Joel telling himself.
Well, I am forever going to give you crap for missing that stream no matter what. I've mentioned it so many times just to tell you about it, which it's hilarious. But I do it lighthearted. It's lighthearted every time I do it. It's you missed out. Joe Telling popped on for like 5 seconds because he was dropped something off and then said hi. So, but no,
he was dropping something off.
It was like well, like he was doing something. Not with it was at Joe's house. That's where they were, and he was dropping something off or picking something up that was back behind him, and he said hi.
Oh, okay. I guess I misunderstood that. So Sean was at Joel's house.
Yeah.
Doing the stream, and Joel just walked into the back and was like, "Hey, what's up?" and then walked away.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I don't feel as bad anymore.
Yeah.
But I feel bad that I missed out on talking to Sean though, because he seems like a really chill dude, and I just felt like a terrible host.
I'm not a terrible host, but no, it was hilarious. And Joe Telling.
Ooh, you broke up real bad. I missed
Joe Telling and Uncle. All right, Can you hear me now? Here, let me
Yeah, but it's like real laggy.
turn the Wi-Fi off.
My
about now?
son, so I can see the video. It was the audio that was like, it sounds like a
Yeah.
really, really
How's that
bad
now?
edited rap video. Much better.
Okay. Yeah, I sent something, and it was killing my Wi-Fi. All right. What was I saying?
Joel Telling.
So
And
there's a Joel Telling one, but we did Bob from I Like to Make Stuff. We did that, and you were there for that, so that was nice.
I was there for that. And I'm learning that I need to prepare better questions ahead of time, because whenever we interview these really important people, I always ask really, really hard questions. They're like, geez, man, go easy on me. The guys for the, what was that hot end?
The Pico?
The new, huh?
The Pico?
Yeah, the Pico hot end. Man, they were like, man, you really were testing us. You were putting us through the ringer.
Yes, yeah, we did that with them. Oh, that was nice. That Kickstarter is done with. I don't know if they've pushed them out yet. I don't know. I need to check back with them and see how that's going.
Yeah, I need to get with them too, because they were telling me that they were mentors for the robotics program that I do at my school, and I need to get with them because I just found some high school sponsors to build my robotics team up at the high school, so they can go from the middle school up to the high school and actually still have a robotics program. So that's cool.
Nice.
And then eventually we'll do the next level up, the higher level. Good.
Leveling up finally, Chris. About time.
Finally gonna hit level 3.
So speaking of leveling up, you have something game related to talk about.
Yeah, so I was scrolling through Facebook today.
You like that transition, Chris?
It was great. Yeah, I was scrolling through Facebook today because I'm Mr. Mom right now. My wife's working. I'm a teacher, so I'm off for the summer, just kind of doing housework and cleaning up the house or whatever. Because I don't know if I told you guys. I don't know if I mentioned this at all, but my wife is actually expecting, and we're gonna have a new baby in November.
You have not. You told me not to say anything where you're going to cut my tongue out. So.
Well.
You didn't say it in those words, but that's pretty much what you meant.
I'm just kidding. No,
This video will be taken down. Violence.
No, November, my wife will be having another baby, and so trying to get the house all cleaned up and ready for that. I mean, you think, Chris, you're starting now to get your house cleaned by November? If you have kids like I do, you understand what I'm talking about, all right? I got 3 little rascals running around here. It's like Tasmanian devil, just crazy. So anyways, I was scrolling through Facebook, taking a break from my daily, works, and I found this really, really awesome thing. I wanted to print one, and I sent it out to my family, and they've placed orders with me. They're like, placing my order now. You have to print me one. And I'm like, I didn't even make this. I don't even know if I can find a file to print this, but I'm going to have to either design my own, which maybe I can do. Maybe.
It's fairly simple.
I'll either have to design my own, or the cool thing is it's all pixels, right? Like it's all pixels. So if anything, I should be able to just make a grid and make the picture myself. So I thought this was really cool. If you guys are big Legend of Zelda fans like me, I'm a huge nerd about a lot of things, but Legend of Zelda is just a really, really cool story that I get into. And so this is from the first Legend of Zelda game. You're walking through, and this old man, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. It's an iconic Legend of Zelda line, and somebody modeled this keyring holder, and I thought it was really, really creative with the way, because a lot of times if you make some sort of a hook that's going to be 3D printed, it's really difficult to make it strong. It's really, really difficult to make something that's 3D printed strong and small enough to actually fit, a key ring or something, because keys are a lot heavier than people think they are, and continued abuse and continue weight on things like that can just really make them leak.
And to get pulled on.
Right.
That's going to be the key factor in there. Is you're going to get, sometimes you go to put it on like that, or you go to take it off and you. I mean, you can do it. You can do it. You just got to print them separately and have to put them in there. But then you have to worry about it popping off. But.
Right. Well, but what I'm saying is, the way that this was designed, where the swords fit into that slot so nicely. I mean, it's perfect. It's great. Super, super smart idea. And I really like the way that the sword is curved. Like, it's got like a slight bevel to it, so that when it 3D prints, it actually looks like it looks like steel, like hammered steel or whatever. I think it's really cool.
I was really dying whenever you said it fits right into that slit. That's what she said.
It's right in, What's that line from what's the movie? Robin Hood Men in Tights? It's not the size, it's how you use it. I've always known it was you. It fits, it's just the size. And then the key doesn't turn. Call the locksmith.
Call the locksmith.
You know the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
We're men in tights.
Oh yeah.
That's a great movie.
And you get the blind guy, and he's just attacking the freaking tree.
Hey, Blinken. Did you just say, hey, Blinken? No, I said, hey, Blinken. I love it, man. I love it.
I have not watched it forever. I need to watch it again. I did watch
the guy that played Robin Hood. That was also, what's his name, Wesley from Princess Bride.
Yep.
He was on an episode of Psych. Did you watch that one?
Oh, he's been in many episodes of Psych, and yes, I have, because I've got all seasons of Psych.
Well, I've seen every episode of Psych, and I remember him being in a couple episodes. But I remember thinking, like, man, kind of let himself go in his later years.
He's not that bad. I mean, he's not as skinny, but he's not that bad.
He still carries himself. He's starting to look more like me. I'm saying. Used to be, good, strong, fit guy like you, and now he's starting to, look like me.
Well,
it makes him more relatable, I guess.
It happens when you get older. I mean, he's not pulling a Steven Seagal or Kurt Russell.
Have you? All right. Okay. This is here. And I'm a nerd, remember? So there's this new TV show on Disney Plus. It's meant for kids, but I have kids, even though my kids don't watch the show. I do. But
I know what you're talking about, and I watch it.
I doubt it. What am I talking about?
Are you talking about the Stormtrooper?
You're talking about Bad Batch, which is the clone. The clone. I have been watching that a little bit, but
it's meant for kids. Then I watch it.
Right. I'm talking about Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
I have not watched that one yet.
I thought it was pretty good because it really brought me back to my childhood. Mighty Ducks came out, when I was little, and that was a show. That was a movie that I grew up on. Yeah, all the Mighty Ducks movies, and then the Mighty Ducks cartoon, like that was really, really big when I was a kid. And so Mighty Ducks Game Changer, it's all about like this kid the Mighty Ducks become this elite team of a bunch of jerks, and this kid gets cut from the team because the head coach was like, listen, if you're 13 and you're not good at hockey yet, it's like, don't bother. And so they form their own, all these misfit kids. It's just like just what you would expect from a Mighty Ducks movie, These misfit kids all get together and they form their own hockey team to go against the Mighty Ducks, and they call themselves the Don't Bothers. And the reason why I bring this up is because Emilio Estevez is in the movie, and he's gained a little bit of weight. Looks the same age though. Looks exactly. I mean, Gordon Bombay, looking like Gordon Bombay still looking the same age. There are some actors that just don't age. We're talking about this just a few weeks ago. Tom Cruise. The dude's like 60 or something like that, and he's still making Mission Impossible movies. Still like doing his own stunts and stuff.
Breaking parts of him. I mean, Jackie Chan does movies, and look how
Jackie Chan's like 117. But
all the stunts he's done, he's broken his ankle so many times.
Yeah, it's at this point it's probably expected.
He's just had a cast that was painted to look like a shoe.
He's done that. He has done that.
Yes.
There was. Do you remember this show? This is sometimes when we're talking, I remember stuff when I was a kid that I have forgotten about for 20 years.
Because I bring that out in you, Chris. I bring that out.
You bring out the kid in me. Speaking of which, I just had a birthday last week. Mm-hmm. I turned 33. I'm like an old man now. So there was like a documentary. I don't remember if it was a TV show or if it was just like a movie, but it was a documentary on Jackie Chan doing his own stunts. And he talked all about, like, there was the one movie where they hit the glass bottles with a baseball bat that was wrapped in a rag, and they'd hit it at him. And there was they talked about how he did the jump between the two buildings.
Where he went and landed down on the fire escape, but he broke his ankle.
Yeah. There was like a whole documentary about. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
And I remember him saying that the glass bottles, the real glass, hurt less than the sugar glass. And so whenever they did that scene, they used real glass bottles because he said if you got hit by a real glass bottle, it didn't hurt as much. Which doesn't make sense to me at all. But,
well, I mean, if you're not getting hit on the head, if it's hitting your body, hitting it flat, because it's absorbing the impact all over compared to it shattering and just you're getting that impact. And it's the density of it, too, because it's sugar that's pretty much done.
Surely sugar's not more dense than glass, right?
It's how it's done. And I can't quite remember on what makes it more like dense and that it hurts.
I'm just gonna assume that no matter what, everything Jackie Chan does, he's just insane. He's just a crazy guy, and I'm okay with it. But I'm starting to question. You know what I mean? He wants to have real glass bottles hit at him. You do you, Jackie. You know, that's all there is to it. Was there a Jackie Chan TV show?
Yes, there was.
Was it Jackie Chan? And then his uncle would hit him in the head with his two fingers?
Jackie!
Jackie! Yeah!
You see, here's the thing. Jackie Chan didn't even voice on it, and Jackie Chan just did the live action running for his character transition from animated to Jackie Chan. And then at the end of it, he was talking and answering questions that were asked. But he never actually voiced. It was somebody else voicing Jackie Chan.
Like one of those PBS after school specials where they'd be like at the end of the show, they'd be like, and remember, kids, don't do drugs.
So yes, it was the Jackie Chan Adventures.
Jackie Chan Adventures.
Do you remember the Mighty Ducks TV show?
Yeah, the cartoon.
Where it was actual ducks?
Where they would play hockey and then they were superheroes.
Yep.
Good night. Yeah, dude. I haven't seen that show forever. I think it's up on Disney Plus now.
I was actually thinking that whenever you're talking about it, I was just like, is that on Disney Plus? I need to go watch that because it's been forever.
I think it's on Disney Plus. I'm pretty sure it is.
It should be because Darkwing Duck's on Disney Plus.
Darkwing Duck was my jam. I didn't watch Tailspin as much. I did watch Tailspin, and I remember there's a video that I'm gonna have to send to you. Maybe I already sent it to you. It was by you all right?
Yeah. Keep on.
it was a video by JK Studios, and I've told you about them before. They were the guys that did a little show called Studio C, and anyways, these guys, JK Studios, they're some friends of mine that I met. One of them I met while I was on my mission in Brazil, but they did a video where they were trying to remember the theme song for Tailspin. They were trying to remember the theme song for Tailspin. Did I send you that video?
Yes, you did. I remember that.
And they're going through all these different theme songs from these cartoons from the 90s, and you're like, oh yeah, that's it. And it's like, oh wait. And they got me. They started singing the DuckTales theme song, and I was like, that's it. That's the song from Tailspin. And then they get to the end, it's all DuckTales. Woo! And then I was like, oh, come on, man. I really thought that was it. And you just sit there going, what is the theme song? I can't even remember. What was the theme song?
Yeah. So yeah, that. So Mighty Ducks, DuckTales, Tailspin, Sonic.
I didn't watch Sonic as much. I remember the show, but it wasn't one that I watched all the time.
Street Sharks, Creepy Crawlers, G.I. Joe, Batman, Spider-Man.
I wasn't super into Batman, but I do remember being really into Batman Beyond.
I did watch Batman Beyond. That's a Creepy Crawlers. Gummy Bears.
I never watched Gummy Bears.
Really? You never watched Gummy Bears?
That was one that I never watched, Gummy Bears. Yeah. There was a movie. Okay, tell me if you remember this. So the old. Do you remember the old Roy Disney movies? Way back when Roy Disney used to get up like before all the movies, and he would give like a little speech like talking about the movie or whatever before the movie would play. And there was an old one of those movies that was called Fluffy Dogs. You're gonna have to look it up, man. That was one that we watched all the time. Fluffy Dogs. And my mom recorded over like 5 minutes of it when she would record Days of Our Lives. She would come home after work and she watched Days of Our Lives. I watched Days of Our Lives for the first my first 20 years of life. I watched Days of Our Lives like almost every day.
That's funny.
I knew everything about that.
Nice.
Did your mom ever watch soap operas?
Nope.
No?
Not that I can recall, no.
My mom watched a lot of stuff. How do you sharpen your knife, Aaron?
With a sharpener.
You use like a whetstone, or do you use one of those like countertop things?
I've got a whetstone somewhere. It's been a while. I don't know what happened to it.
Do you carry a knife, Aaron? Usually?
Always, Chris.
See, that's what I'm saying.
And
but you don't sharpen it?
It's a Kershaw. So
Oh.
I have sharpened it. I've used my little sharpener for my knives that I use in the kitchen for it, but I need to actually get a stone so I can do it and keep going. Wow. So last episode we talked about, I said I was having issues with a program. And so I was talking to you before the show on this. I feel so bad because I got this review I got to do for this, and I've not been able to do anything for weeks because the stupid program just stopped working on my computer. I don't know why. It was working perfectly fine, and I was using my laser engraved software, and then I went to go back to use the software for this, and it wouldn't work.
Do you have a time limit or a deadline you have to have your review done by?
I wasn't given a time limit because he's an awesome guy, but I feel so bad because, I mean, I got test prints done that he wanted done, but I got other ones that I was wanting to do and get kicked out for him. So I can just print those and not be like, oh, well, here's these test prints. That's it. No. So, yeah, I've been chewing at the bit. So I have another laptop that I got from work that they were gonna recycle. So put the program on there and it wasn't working. And then I finally got it working. So knock on wood that, you know, it continues to work and that it doesn't mess up.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to realize, you know, Aaron is running, you know, running all these programs on his Windows 95 IBM laptop.
It's not that old.
It's got a was it a 75 megahertz processor? Is that what it is?
Shut up, Chris. It's not that old. It's not that old. I got this in 2011.
I've heard though that he upgraded it to 1 gigabyte of RAM. So
shut up, Chris. Shut up. But that laptop that I put that on, my plan for that one was to actually have out in the shop to run the laser engraver. So I wasn't taking this out there and then pulling it back and then just going back and forth. That I could actually have that one there, use it, because I plan on either making or getting a CNC at some point in time in life, and then just using that on that. So now I've got that working. I need to get my files onto there that I need to slice to print. Actually, I did print on one of my printers a Disney key for somebody. It's like that big. I'm super excited about that. So, actually, do I have that? Yeah. Okay. There we go. This is what the Disney key looks like.
Nice. Okay. This is just me being a complete idiot thing. Anybody else ever ask the question, why does Walt Disney spell his name with a backwards G? Did anybody else ever ask that question? Because right now, what I'm looking at, Aaron, it looks backwards, right? Like you're holding it up backwards. See, like I realize that's supposed to be a D, but it's a backwards capital G.
Yeah, I don't know.
When I was a kid, I always asked that question. I was always like, why does he spell his name with backwards capital G? And I know that it's a D now, but I legit did not know that was a D until I was like 23. Like,
well, maybe it was just he liked the swoosh and then doop. Just made it easy to do and make it cursive.
What I'm saying is, did anybody else ever feel like it was a G? Like I always thought it was a G. Like I legitimately thought it was a G till I was like 23 years old and married and almost had a kid. And I was like, oh, it's a D.
So
I must be the only one. It's all right. It's fine.
No, but it does look like a G.
Yeah, you don't have to give me the pity, Aaron. All right.
I have throughout my life thought it does look like a G, but
like I think it looks more like
not
a
in
G
the right spot.
The key has it in the wrong spot.
Don't worry about it, Chris. It's over your head.
I mean, it's not over my head, you know.
But tossing something out there for Brian if Brian sees it. But so yeah, I've got a bunch of projects to work on and get done. I need to do. I've got another key to make, another 2 keys to make. And this one is 6 inches, so the other one that I have actually is it's about like that. So
So, so like last year, 2 years, a couple years ago, I started a series on my YouTube channel called Things Every Guy Should Know, and it was basically it was about like some things that I feel like everyone should just know how to do. You know, things like how to tie a tie. You know, I feel like every guy should know how to tie a tie, even if you don't wear a tie often. I wear a tie every week to church, you know, but you know, I just figured, you know, every guy should know how to tie a tie. And then another one was change your oil. I've been working on stupid how to change your oil video for years. And every time I go to change the oil in one of my vehicles, something goes horribly wrong, and it's like this video is not meant to happen. But I had an idea for one of these things every guy should know, and 6 foot, huh? Every time. So I had an idea for one of these things every guy should know videos. But it's kind of weird. Like, I feel like every guy should know how to cook. And so I feel like making, like, this is so weird. My YouTube channel called MrCarrellScience, and I'm like, let's make some cooking videos.
MrCarrellScience. And then you'd see him in an apron. Guys, let's make some cookies today. This is going to be fun.
My kids made me an apron for Father's Day last year. My wife was so proud of it. She went out, she got some vinyl, and she like custom made this vinyl. She made like a charcoal grill like on the front of it, and then she had my kids do their handprints on it, so it looked like that was the fire coming up out of the charcoal grill was my kids' handprints, like different colors. It was super cool. But the file she chose for the charcoal grill that she put on the apron, it makes it look like I've got a huge udder like at the bottom of the apron. And so it's like every time I put it on, it looks like udders. And so she feels really bad about it. But I love this apron. But I'm telling you right now, I would pull that bad boy out. MrCarrellScience cooks with my friggin' udder apron. I'm all about it. I'll do it. But I'm just wondering if like I need to start a new channel for all these weird things that I want to do. I've been thinking about starting a new channel for scripture stories.
I've got Kyla's apron on the back of the kitchen door, where I've got an apron. I've got an apron from one of the Geek Box descriptions. It's what's it from? I know the show. Why can't I think of the show? I've never watched it. I know you're going to know the name whenever I say the teacher who cooks meth.
Oh, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad. It's from Breaking Bad.
You know, so, I've never watched Breaking Bad. I tried to watch the first episode.
I've never watched it. Anyway, so I've got that apron from one of the geek boxes that had it, and I've not really used it. I've not really used it, but it's got paint on it from doing stuff with painting, so it can be used for cooking or painting, and it doesn't really matter. So, but a friend was over last Saturday, and saw is like, is this yours? And then I did kind of my one voice I like to do, mixed with Snagglepuss, and go, yes, it is. It makes me feel so pretty.
My apron's manly. And it has udders.
It's utterly.
It's utterly amazing. What's that joke? You know, what happens to a cow when it jumps over a barbed wire fence? Utter destruction. Come on, that's pretty good, Aaron.
Oh my gosh. I don't want to try to make it come back to that because this is where we need Brian. Brian would just be shooting off dad jokes.
All the utter puns.
Oh my gosh, he would have spouted off 50 by now.
He would have.
That must be his flowing locks.
He's really growing it out, isn't he?
Yes, he is. I kind of wonder if he's trying to pull a Calvin.
Oh, I want somebody to make a Harry Calvin file. We haven't mentioned the Harry Calvin in a long time. But those of you that don't know what the Harry Calvin is.
It was last year.
It's been a few years because Calvin and Jimmy haven't. I mean, they started recently doing more streams, but they haven't streamed for a while. It's been a couple years.
Yeah.
Weird. Well, taking pictures of stuff. Okay.
No, I'm doing something.
Oh, you're doing the 3D scan of your face. So we had this idea to take a 3D scan of.
So it's not the best, but
face. But we see the potential. We had this idea to take a 3D scan of Calvin's head and attach lines to it, like the hairy lion that 3D prints. And we wanted to make a Harry Calvin because he's got this real long, kind of crazy
curly hair. Yeah. So
he looks like a young Einstein with, black hair
and a lot scrawnier.
Wow. But I love Calvin.
Oh, Calvin's awesome.
He's a nut, but he's a good guy.
Oh yes. No.
Speaking of which, I owe him a package. I owe Jimmy a roll of filament. I lost a bet with him a long time ago, and I've never sent him. I need to send him a roll of filament. I lost. I don't
think he really cares because how many rolls has he had just sitting there?
It's not about whether or not he cares.
No, I know. I am just saying. I know Jimmy's gonna be like giggling. his infectious giggle that he does.
What kind of filament should I send him?
And then just say it doesn't matter.
What kind of filament should I send him though? For reals.
What I would do, it's gonna cost, but I would send him that tough filament and let him screw around with it. Then you'd get Calvin screwing around with it too.
What was it that is it Talman 910?
Yeah, 910 or I think it's 910.
Something 910.
Yeah. Just search Amazon.
That stuff's pricey, man.
I know. Wow.
That stuff's pricey.
That's what I said.
I might have to maybe I'll look up like some Ziltech like rainbow filament or something.
Alloy 910. Alloy 910.
Alloy 910.
Yeah. And a kilogram is $65. This is one. I don't. This is from one carrier. There's an Amazon choice of Alloy 910 black, and it says nylon for $34. I don't know if that's the exact same.
That's gotta be a half spool or something.
It says 1 pound.
Yeah, 1 pound is less than 1 kilogram, less than half of 1 kilogram.
So, and then there's a kilogram that's 3 millimeters instead of 1.75 for $44. So, yeah, I mean, close to $70 for maximum to get an alloy 910 for it.
Yeesh. I just don't know. I don't know.
So
I've been learning a new language.
you have that. You could send him an Overture nylon filament. I don't know if he's messed with nylon. It's $30. It's a little more affordable.
You see, okay, let me be more clear about what my intention is with sending this roll of filament, because I'm not actually planning on sending him a roll of filament that he can mess around with. I would love to send him a roll of filament that he hates so much that he has to use it, like he doesn't have a choice. And so I'm like, I've got to send it with some sort of a challenge. You know what I mean? Like, send him a roll of rainbow filament and tell him he has to print a Harry Calvin or a Daniel Norrie. You know?
I can see that. But again,
Didn't they have a Daniel Norrie, like, Red Bull koozie or something?
Yes, I believe there is. But yes, we still need that Harry Calvin to. So somebody, Jimmy doesn't have an iPhone still. Somebody do the head scan for Calvin so we can get a Harry Calvin.
I've got one of those apps on my phone.
Oh, and I know it's on that, but I know Jimmy doesn't also just update his phone to the newest and latest phone. It's what he does with vehicles. You know, he's got his camper now and all this other stuff.
Oh, that's right. He's wanting to journey all across the nation, just go visit national parks with this new drone. Doesn't he have a drone now too?
Yep. But the app that I was using is EM3D.
Mine is called like 3D Scanner or something like that. What is it called? It's called 3D Scanner. That's what it's called.
So you should be able to get EM3D as well. But because there's some that won't let you use the actual regular camera, you actually have to use the face camera for it. Let's see, will this let me? Yeah, because see this just lets me do front facing camera right here. There's my hand. So, but yeah, no, we need to get that Harry Calvin.
Gotta figure it out, man.
Or in Blender, you can take and upload photos, and they've got a head that you can upload to it that you that you just shape the generated head to the actual face. So you take a side photo and a front photo, and then you just get it adjusted that way. So that's definitely one thing we need to try to do.
I got a book that I need you to read. You've already read it once. I need you to read it again.
Kingslayers.
Kingkiller Chronicles.
No, Kingslayer. He's called a Kingslayer.
I need you to read them again because I've got some deep delving theories about this book series.
Both.
I've got some deep book theories that I need someone to nerd out about with.
Okay.
By the way, if anybody is watching this now or in the future or whatever, and you have read King Killer Chronicles, we need to talk, because there's some big stuff going on that I'm not so sure that everybody is aware of. I got some big theories, man. I got some real big theories.
I've got some theories. I got some theories.
Well,
we talked about this not that long ago, last weekend.
So, but I've since then I've finished the second book again. So now all my theories that I had before are even bigger. So when Kvothe talks to the Faye,
Mm-hmm.
the Faye tells him that Denna's patron is beating her. And I've read through the description a bunch of times, and I think that the Cathay's not lying specifically, but the wording that the Cathay's using is a little suspect. For example, right? The Cathay says, he beats her, you know, her patron. The Cathay doesn't say he's actively harming her physically. The Cathay says he beats her. Well, there was that guy, Bredin, whatever, that would go and meet with him at the mayor's house and play that game tack with him all the time. He would beat Kvothe at tack all the time. So who's to say that when the Cathay says he beats her, that he's talking about he physically harms her? Maybe he's just beating her at a game. And this makes sense because the very next line is like, it's mostly a game to him. Right?
Yeah.
I need you to read this book again so that you can understand
I will.
the meaning behind it.
I will go over and redo the books again. I like.
If you have,
do
you have them on Audible?
I do have the audiobooks.
Just put that on Audible, boom, while you're mowing your lawn, and while you're tinkering with your 3D printer, boom, audiobook in the background.
So usually what I do, except whenever it's something that I need to focus on listening to, then I don't, if I can't. So, but
It's imperative, right?
all right.
Most important thing, I will say, King Killer Chronicles is a total of it's something like 100 hours of reading for the two books. I'm pretty sure that I finished them both in 2 weeks.
Probably.
And I would sit here in my chair and I would just put it in and I would just sit here at night. Just sit there and listen to it for hours and hours and hours. My wife, why are you staying up until 2 o'clock in the morning all the time all of a sudden? I want to hear the book.
The kids are awake. I can't hear it.
I can't listen to it with the kids up because it's got a lot of bad language in it. And I recently acquired some new earbuds, some Bluetooth wireless earbuds, and they're pretty great.
Yeah, I'll give me one.
But
second. 1 second.
Anyways, if any of you are watching this live or a rerun or whatever, hit me up on Twitter or whatever, MrCarrellScience, because I'm very interested in talking.
All right.
And that is why Aaron and I don't go to Sunsplash together anymore.
I knew you're doing something like that. I knew. It was like, he's gonna be doing that something like, and that's why.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Wait. Let me just. I am going out of town. What day? I think I'll be good for next week's show. I think I'll be good.
You think?
I'm leaving on June 12th.
Okay. Which is Saturday, so yeah, you'll be good. All right, Chris. So we need to do a project. We need to make something and print stuff. We need to do something.
Like a collaborative?
No, we just need to do something.
Right now, none of my printers are working. None of them. And I just got a new printer, but I haven't put it together yet. And I'm fixing up my ANET because I'm going to sell it. I'm doing $100 in upgrades to the 3D printer so I can sell it for $150. What do you do? You know, what do you do? So, but I have some things that I want to. I want to 3D print some buttons. That's honestly that's like the next thing on my list to print. And you're gonna be like, why are you printing buttons, right? It's because my son. So my grandma just moved in a few blocks down from me. She lives like a half mile away from my house now, and she's getting a little bit older, and she's had a lot of surgeries and stuff. And so my parents, who live next door to me, close family, I guess, we're having to go over a lot and take care of my grandma. And so my kids come with me, and we go and water her flowers every day, and we go and say hi to her and stuff. And my kids found a little tiny box with toys in it. And one of the toys that she had was one of those button spinners. You know what a button spinner is?
Yes.
Where you tie a string onto a button and you go like this and you zoo, 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 zoo. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
So she had one of those that was made out of wood, and it looked like it was like hand carved, like out of wood. And Elliot was playing with it the other day, zoo, 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 and he got it to spin so fast that it actually split apart and like flew apart in his hands while he was spinning it. And he felt so bad about breaking it. So now he wants to design and 3D print he wants to design it himself. So he's actually been on Tinkercad the last couple of days designing his own button. And I went on and helped him just to get the holes lined up and stuff so that it would be balanced when it printed. And so that's the next thing that I want to print is some buttons that Elliot has designed so that he can replace the one that he broke, my grandma's that he broke. He feels really bad about it. I told him it's just a toy. He doesn't have to feel bad about it, but he feels bad. So he wants to make it right and make her a new one. So
nice, I can see that. So, but yeah, we're going to need to come up and start making some projects, Chris. We've got weeks to do it.
and
I got some.
I know.
And I had one planned, but I couldn't do it on doing a project that I've been wanting to do, and should be able to do it now again. It's just going to take days to do it. So
I've got a project that is going to require me probably like 2 weeks straight of just printing that I started working on. I don't know if you remember. Did I talk about the clock?
yeah.
And so I've got a project that requires a ton of printing. I've got a few parts that I need to order, but not that many. I've gotten most of the parts that I need from my UFO subscription boxes.
Yeah.
But I need to start printing again, but I can't because all of my printers are down. My one good printer that I've been using, my Ender 3, I stinking broke the Y end stop, and I have the new end stop. I just haven't taken the time to fix it. So maybe tomorrow. I've got my house is pretty much all cleaned up now. I feel bad working on projects when I have a dirty house. You know what I mean?
I do.
Does that make sense? Like, I feel guilty not cleaning my house. And so I've been just kind of working on that every day, picking up after my little Tasmanian devil kids. And now that I've got it mostly under control, I think maybe tomorrow I can pull my. I've got 3 printers that I need to pull out and fix. So maybe tomorrow I can pull those out on the table, and maybe I should do a live stream or something sometime and fix all these printers that are broken.
I can see that.
I think it would be a cool idea. And then I've got to finish building my enclosure for my 3D printer in my classroom. And I'm going to need to design a new filament roller system, because the ender feeds filament from the side and the ANET fed filament from the top. And so I'm selling the ANET and I'm bringing my ender to my classroom, and the new Sidewinder that I've got is going to be a printer that I keep at my house in the shop. I mean, it's a shed.
It's a shop, but still.
But yeah, so I need to figure out how I'm going to redesign. I made a video about how I designed a piece that has a PTFE tube that goes through it so that it feeds the filament from the top down into the ANET. But now I've got to find a way of doing that and having it feed sideways, because the ender feeds filament sideways.
Yeah.
Because it's not big enough for me to have a spool holder inside of my enclosure. The enclosure's not big enough.
What I would do is, you've got it feeding down to the top. What I would do is I'd have it go in and then put some pulleys. So it would the pulley would help guide it this way, and then you have another one that would help guide it to go down.
What I'm wondering is putting a slit on the side with a 3D printed. It would be kind of shaped like an oval, and then it would actually, like, I would cut a slit in the side of the enclosure, slide that in, and then slide another piece in so that they meet up with each other. So there's like a hole, like a slit hole on the side that lines up with it, and then adding a pulley to that so that it can go from the top over and feed in through the side. I'm not happy with it. I'm not happy with the idea.
Yeah. I understand that. But, all right, well, it is time. We're going to wrap it up here, and Chris has probably got to eat some food, don't you?
No, I'm doing okay, actually.
Oh,
I'm doing all right. I take a special medicine, and depending on the day that I take it, I'm great. When I say special, it's not like Breaking Bad kind of stuff, but.
All right, so we will be on his channel next week if he doesn't bail.
I refuse to bail.
If you keep bailing, I'm just going to call you Christian.
I don't understand.
Christian Bale.
I gotcha. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. But we will see you all next week, and we will hopefully have some projects going and started or done. So I'm going to be starting to work on some of mine and kind of work through what I need to do. So till then, everybody, happy making, take care, and we will see you next time.
See you guys. Thanks for watching.